welcome to your own personal brand, spanking new, bright and shiny, it's all miney video, the very best of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Over the next 90 minutes, we're going to relive some of the drama and the emotion that has made Who Wants to Be a Millionaire the most successful quiz show the world has ever seen. And there have been a lot of those great moments since we first came on air back in September 1998. Now, after all, it's the TV programme that got strangers talking to each other again. Emptied pubs that didn't have TVs in them, and filled pubs that did. You're going to see people winning fortunes, people losing fortunes, and me losing about 20 years of my life. But before we see some of those highlights, first let's give you an exclusive look behind the scenes. Now, I bet you've often wondered what it takes to make this little programme. Well, now you can find out, as we look at a day in the life of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Elstree Film Studios, just outside London.
I'm going to be a professional game show contestant now.
9 a.m. The contestants begin to arrive for the start of a long but exciting day.
I'm Jess, one of the researchers. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Lisa. Nice to meet you.
Pleased to meet you.
First thing is a quick wardrobe check.
OK, Karen, before you show us what the baby's going to wear, would you like to show us what you'd like to wear?
Yeah.
Hold your outfit up on the hanger so cameras and lighting can have a look at these colours next to your face.
Grey trousers, maybe?
That's fine, that's fine. But if they say that that is too shiny, then you'll be all right with that one.
Yeah. Jenny, hello.
Now, the next thing is to find out a bit about these people.
So when you two are watching the television, watching Millionaire together, who tends to do better?
I'm not very good.
I've actually got 2 grandchildren.
Yeah.
One's 10 and one's 8.
I'd like to go down Snowdon in my wheelchair.
Yeah.
Hopefully with some nice young men hanging onto the wheelchair for me.
Friends have to be phoned to make sure they're going to be in if their big moment arrives.
Well, one's engaged and the other one's at answering machine, so...
Or at least, they're going to be in.
He's not at his desk. They're going to try and find him.
Hi, Uncle Ian. Hi, can I just tell you the rules for tonight's show?
Yeah, it's Jenny Lumley.
Keep your phone line free between 7 and 10 p.m. this evening. You mustn't make any outgoing calls and mustn't try to take any incoming calls either. Turn off the TV or radio before you pick up the phone.
No, I'll have to ring him a bit later.
Also, the first person you'll speak to is Chris Tarrant.
Throughout the day, all kinds of odd people arrive at the studio for various reasons. OK, cheers.
We've got obviously our 10 contestants.
It's briefing time for the contestants.
And as soon as we've established who's next to play for the £1 million, we'll then stop recording, make sure everyone's all right, offer you glasses of water, so don't think we are literally recording for 2 hours solid. We do have lots of these pauses.
Early afternoon, and the contestants get their first look at the studio.
Right, good afternoon, everybody.
A quick look at the clothes on camera.
It's a button.
To make sure that nobody looks like a tutti frutti ice cream or a zebra crossing.
Yeah, all done. Everybody fine? Yeah.
The contestants then get a chance to try the game, beginning with fastest finger first.
In fastest finger first, for the first part of it, you don't need to look anywhere else in the studio apart from your screens. Now, audience, for this bit, keep it nice and quiet, please. Let them concentrate. It's fastest finger first. Here comes the question. Starting with the smallest, put these 4 sports in order by the size of the ball used.
20
Basketball,
seconds.
golf, association football, tennis.
8 if we got it right. Who was fastest? Jane Andrews! Jane, you're an amazing... I then play a couple of rounds with each contestant, so that we can get to know each other a bit before the show. Audience has never been wrong in rehearsal, have they? In nearly 200 shows. Once you get to 1,000, take your time, get your head together, and really have a good look. In which part of London was the Good Life set? Purley, East Cheam, Perryvale, Surbiton. You can ask the audience, you can phone a friend and use 50-50.
I might go 50-50, though.
We have to get to a point sooner or later where you say, yes, my final answer is. It's the right answer, you got £1,000! Whoa! Go, go! Just before showtime, I'm briefed on the contestants, their stories and their dreams.
Up in the audience is daughter Vicky, and watching at home is husband John, also known as Lumpy, a nickname he hates.
She loves travelling, but John doesn't.
She's also been on TV before, at Buckingham Palace, where she was videoed receiving an MBE from Her Majesty the Queen.
Really? Was she done?
Yeah, because she's a retired civil servant and she was in the DHSS for 35 years. Now, one of her phone of friends is actually a guy she's never ever met. She met him on an online quiz chat room, so he's going to be one of her phone of friends.
So you're not quite useful.
Yeah.
It's nearly time. The audience arrive. The boys in the computer room stacked the questions for the show.
Wombat, badger, shrew or buffalo? Well, I think that's all right for £100. Yes, fine. Just go back 3. We didn't have another geography question, did we? Good, OK. Next, which of these songs is traditionally performed the last night of the proms? My Way, Rocking All Over the World, Rule Britannia or the Birdie Song?
A final touch-up for the contestants.
The whole day's gone so fast because we arrived this morning at about 11 o'clock.
7:15 into the arena. 7:30 and here we go. Okay, let's do it. This show of ours does seem to have given rise to a whole new crop of catchphrases all over the country. Kids and adults alike are saying things like, "Is that your final answer? Can I phone a friend?" and "Will you take us to Disneyland if you win, Daddy?" The one that rings truest with me, though, is the one I feel compelled to say whenever a contestant is struggling on a particular question. And it's usually a question that seems fairly simple, one that they really should know, but they don't, because we all have little gaps in our knowledge, and we all have weak spots. And remember, some questions are, altogether now, only easy if you know the answer. Now, you might not believe this, but in spite of that last lot, when we reach show 200, we are giving away well in excess of £20 million. Imagine that. It's enough money to pay Manchester United's wages bill for nearly a whole fortnight. There are many things in life that can challenge and even ruin the most beautiful of relationships. You and your mate both falling in love with the same girl. Supporting different football teams, discovering your prospective father-in-law's an estate agent, little things like that. Now, at Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, we came up with a new one that puts a strain on the strongest of relationships. It's called Phone a Friend. Now, for some reason, we always seem to get a lot more men than women on this show, and opinions divided on why this is. Are men better at general knowledge? Are they keener to push themselves forward, more competitive, or what? When I asked one woman in the audience during a commercial break one night why she thought we didn't have as many women on, she very wittily replied, "It's because you don't want to give away any money." It's not true, but very funny answer, if you're female. Without a doubt, women have given us many of our very best moments. And I think I've worked out why that is. It's because they're far more expressive, they aren't afraid to show their emotions, they're less self-conscious, they're less inhibited. That's right, they're as mad as hatters. Now, it's not just here in the UK that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire has been such a huge success. Millionaire mania has conquered the world. It's been shown in over 100 countries. Although the format, the set and the music are exactly the same, each country might add its own little refinement. For instance, in Italy, the show's called Who Wants to Be a Multi-Millionaire? In Monte Carlo, it's Who Cares, We're Already Millionaires? And in Kazakhstan, it's What the Hell is a Millionaire Anyway? But wherever it appears in the world, you can be sure that people love this great British export.
A, anarchie. Anarchie is jouw antwoord A. Het is het goede antwoord op 1000 frank.
List disse popgrupper efter, hvornår de blev opløst.
Vous ne suivez pas votre intuition.
C'est une perche ou un piège? Non, non, non.
Remélem kellemesebb kérdések lesznek itt.
I want to use 50-50.
50-50 इस्तेमाल करना चाहेंगे? Very good. कंप्यूटर जी, प्लीज इन 4 जवाबों में से 2 गलत जवाब मिटा दिए जाएं.
Znowu poprawna odpowiedź. Wygrałeś 64 000 złotych w niesamowitym tempie.
Portanto, a resposta da Renata é C, assassino, e está correta, não há dúvida.
Византийской, римской, османской, китайской.
Danilo. Na odgovor bova počakala po oglasih.
Computer, let's take away 2 incorrect answers. Let's leave for David the correct answer and the remaining incorrect answer.
Hazırım efendim.
Pekala, sorunuz geliyor.
Evet, bekliyorum.
Buyurun. Nuri abi merhaba.
Merhaba, başarılar İsmail.
Türkiye'nin en büyük coğrafi bölgesi hangisidir?
We're going for 64,000. He's 5 questions away from a million. He's got all his lifelines. He's in beautiful shape.
Yep. You just won 500. That's incredible. Of course, it would be great to win $1 million, but that's not the main reason most people come on to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. They wouldn't say no to $1 million, of course. But what most contestants are hoping for is money that could really make a big difference. £1,000 has given people the chance to take their family abroad for the very first time. £4,000 has cleared the debts of someone who's been living in the shadow of them for years. We've even had people who've come onto the show unemployed and left it 20 minutes later retired. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is the quiz show that really, truly can change your life. When a contestant first arrives at the show, we've no idea who they are or what to expect. And speaking of expecting, yes, making your mind up can be so difficult, can't it? Now, on a show where there's so much at stake and people are playing for potentially life-changing amounts of money, you're inevitably going to get a great deal of knuckle-whitening, gut-wrenching tension. And what better way to relieve it than a laugh? Now, we all like laughing at that small percentage of the audience who think something completely daft like Alfred the Great was a chimney sweep or an escargot is a unit of currency in Portugal. But best of all is when the contestants laugh all the way to the bank. Now, they say that one of the secrets to a good marriage is to trust each other, to share your thoughts, your fears and your doubts. Here's another one. Think very, very, very carefully about coming onto one of our Who Wants to Be a Millionaire couple shows. We started doing these at Christmas 2000, and whether any of our couples were still together for Christmas 2001 is really anybody's guess. If you think coming on the show on your own is stressful, try coming on with your other half and disagreeing on a £250,000 question. Couples who play together stay together, they say. Yes. Or then again, no. Maybe. Sometimes. Coming on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire puts that theory to the ultimate test. Over 3 years of doing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I have gone through every emotion known to man. I've had palpitations as contestants somehow got to just £500, miraculously in a couple of cases. I've agonised as they struggled to get the £32,000 question right. And I've rejoiced when they got $1 million. And when it's all said and done, this show is all about making someone a millionaire. And if you'd like to join that elite, let me give you a few tips to help you get there. Study hard. Remember every fact you've ever learnt. Keep your cool and sit in this seat for fastest finger first. Seat number 8. It's probably the luckiest seat in Britain. Now, by one of those amazing coincidences that seem to crop up all the time on this show, our first 2 millionaires, Judith Keppel and David Edwards, both sprang from here after they'd won fastest finger first. And 20 minutes of fantastic television later, they left the hot seat each with a cheque for £1 million. Now, we shared some great moments in the past, and I know there are many, many more to come, because this is the show that has it all. Excitement, tension, drama and emotion. And maybe that's why it's the biggest quiz show on the planet. Oh, and it also makes people millionaires. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next show. Bye-bye.